Hello, it's Timmy here. The O'Reillys have here a Vauxhall Vivaro or a Renault Trafic. Okay, so it's got this engine type on it. There's a few different sort of variants, different designs. All very similar, but slight differences on them. So if we get inside, it's done 121,000. Start the engine up. Engine failure hazard. Engine management light on. See if we can skip through, see if there's any other messages on here. Sometimes they'll give you more than one. It doesn't seem to be working, so we're just locked onto that fault. There you go. So check anti-pollution now come up. Spanner light on there as well. And you usually get sort of maybe a check injection system as well. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about on this one today is this fault here, 020313. So this can happen on any of the cylinders, but this one is on cylinder 3. The code would obviously be a little bit different. I don't know if it's 312, 314, something like that. It's had a new injector fitted. It's also had the oil done, but very shortly afterwards you get these faults come back. So I'm going to show you what one of the common things on these is that I've learned. Most of these vans get this issue where you get an open circuit on the cylinder, but you can hear the van is running, so it's not misfiring. So this customer bought the van, and within a few days all of these faults came up. He's had the injector replaced, he's had the oil done, but yeah, the fault keeps coming back. So we're going to remove the engine cover, and I'll have a look at the plug that connects to the injector itself. We're going to try and squeeze together the connector, clean it up with some circuit cleaner and then contact cleaner, and then yeah, we'll have a look at the DPF and do that. But obviously I've done enough videos on the DPF, so we'll just talk about the injector on this one. Okay, so I've taken off the engine cover. It's a bit of a fiddle to get that out because this one's got this big massive box here, but play around with it, you can get it out. So it looks like to me, if we have a look close up at these injectors, that injector looks old. That one in there is new. You can see it's got a little bit of copper grease or something around it. They definitely changed that one, and they haven't changed that one. But the thing is, normal cars will count injector 1, 2 and 3, so that would be right. But French cars always count from the flywheel, so you got 1, 2, 3 and 4, so this would be number 3. But usually these don't really need the injector changing, it's usually the plug, and I'll pull that off and show you. So I've got a little pick tool here. That's what I usually use to get it around the back, lift the clip up and pull it out. Now if we look at these, it's usually the gap in between those little contacts just becomes a little bit too loose, and it doesn't make good contact with hair, which is why you get the circuit issue up, even though it's not misfiring. So I think we're going to pull maybe the 2 of these off and try and crimp them in a little bit, and I'll show you what else we can do. So the metal pins that we've got in here, we get in with a little pick tool, and if you just nudge the end of them slightly up, just like that, it'll make them sort of bite better against these. So now I'm using this pick again in there. Oh, dropped it. Just picked it up. So what I'm trying to do, show you single-handedly, is just crimping these together. If you look at the left one and now look at that right one, you can see the gap difference.
Yeah.
So we're just pinching these together. So now I've just done the same with this one, and now we can plug those back in. Now we've done the injector, I'm just going to clean out the DPF using the O2 sensor port over here. Gonna do it with the engine running. Okay, back inside, we're going to clear all of these faults. So it has had an oil change.
Sorry.
So what I'm going to do is do a reset. Go to service intervals by pressing this. Hold it down. Hold it down again until it starts flashing. Keep holding and let go. Okay, now we're just going to hold the revs and see if we can get down this pressure from 62, well, the soot from 62 grams and the pressure down from here. We want that down around sort of 5 or 6 millibars or HPA. Okay, we're going to hold the revs up sort of around 3000 RPM. And then you'll see we'll start to get some steam coming from the exhaust. And we're just going to hold these revs here for a couple of minutes. Should see the pressure sort of drop and the grams of soot should start coming down. Of course, if you don't see these grams of soot coming down, then you might have to sort of make sure that all the fault codes have been reset, and if it doesn't come down below sort of, you want that down around sort of 6 grams, and this up around sort of 6 as well when the vehicle's idling, that is. Just try and increase the revs back to sort of 3000 there a little bit. It's hard to get it to stay in one position. Looks like it's coming down okay. 75 pressure. Let's see where we are at idle now. Let it idle down. 16, 15. So increase the revs back up. It's a nice summer's day again. Just take it for a quick mile or two run. Okay, see, here's a problem now, is that the soot is actually rising back up. If we let go of the accelerator, we've got 12 millibars of pressure, which is too high. Should be around about 6, like I said. Hey, we've got this fault code back, even though we've cleared it. So we're going to check the engine oil level. Hard to see there, but yeah, it's a tiny bit above the full mark. I'm going to use an extraction pump. We'll take out maybe half a litre. Okay, now we've cleared that and reset the oil again. Okay, now we've reset the oil, let's restart the engine. See if those numbers are, the soot grams are still rising. They're probably rising because once it triggers a fault, and it's still rising up. It's just because the pressure is not good enough, really. These vans are a lot more sensitive than the average van. So you'd normally say that that's good pressure there, wouldn't you? But it's clearly not on these, because the pressure is rising up. Oh, hang on a minute, what's going on there? It's just dropped. 8. That looks close. It's coming down a little bit. We still have the soot going up. It's back to 10 or 11. Just recheck if any of the fault codes have come back for the oil dilution. No. Okay, so what's going to happen with this is this soot grams and the pressure are not come down where you'd like them to be, so it's going to regen a lot more often than it needs to. Then that's going to dilute the engine oil. Once the engine oil gets a dilution code back, you'll again start to get a block DPF back very quickly. So it's going to need a replacement DPF. Obviously your other options are DPF delete, or remove the DPF and back flush if it's got hard ash solids on the face of the DPF. You could maybe try back flushing it, but that's a risk as well. If it might not, that doesn't always work. So if I was going to go through the effort of removing the DPF on this, it would have to be either to replace it or delete it, really, because the amount of work is involved. I think you have to drop the subframe. So that's where we are. Okay, so that's it, all done. See you in the next video.